If you're going to engage in a vegan diet, please do utilize protein supplements. But be aware the protein supplements still lack some of the proteins from a meat included diet. You have your own conscience. You should have a clean, clear conscience. But be aware that there is a trade-off to that. It may be something that as an adult you don't suffer from, but I would very much ask you to please consult more than one physician, more than the one that just tells you what you want to hear if you go to raise babies on a vegan diet. It is very tough if you have a loved one who's aged or someone who is weak from disease. Please seek some serious medical consultation before you put someone like that on a strict vegan diet. It would not be a healthy choice for them. We should eat ethically. Ethics is an issue that is variable. Ethics is determined by philosophy and philosophical views. It's your morality. It involves your theology, your worldview. There's variations in ethics, whether we want to admit it or not. That's one of the reasons why ethics is used as a, quote, standard in a multicultural culture like we're in, is because it allows different people to have variations in beliefs of what's ethical. And you want to have a clear conscience, whatever your conscience is on your chosen diet. When it comes to animal treatment, I find this very interesting. Just this last week in Jefferson City, there was a debate over legislation dealing with some of the fallout from the passage of Prop B. Prop B was supported very strongly in this part of the state. It was defeated very strongly in other parts of the state. And so you have representatives of both those areas of the state, pro and con, sitting in a committee room taking testimony from people from all around the state. One thing that I took note of is that when the ag-producing legislators talked about their farm livelihoods, and they talked about trying to help people to understand that as they take care of their livestock, it's in their best interest to make sure those livestock are healthy and well managed and taken care of and proper, and that they're not under stress and that they're not being exploited. Excuse me, I didn't want to use that word yet. That they're not using them in any bad ways. Half of the audience loved what they had to say. Half of the audience hated what they had to say. And I sat there and I watched that and I thought to myself, why this dichotomy between the two sides of the room? And it's because the people who supported Prop B, people from the urban cores who was there to testify on their side of the issue, all they heard out of those words coming from those people's mouths was exploitation, exploitation, exploitation. It's a worldview. These are variations in ethics depending on what a person's worldview is. You know, there was a day when 99% of the people in Missouri were involved in an agrarian culture. That has almost completely flipped. Over 90% of the state's population has no connection to an agrarian culture anymore. Young children 30 years ago would go to a farm from an urban core, and the farmers would laugh about the fact that a young child wouldn't necessarily know the difference between a cow and a horse. Today, because of modern entertainment, young children of the same age want to know from farmers why their ducks or why their cows aren't talking to them, because they think they all speak English, because of all the computer animation and all the entertainment media and the lack of connection. Now, I'm not saying they all say that has happened. You know, there is a huge disconnect from understanding agricultural lifestyle. So having said that, I would challenge you, please don't think that all animal agriculture is exploiting animals. If we eliminate animal agriculture, we're not going to be able to convert those grain-producing soils to the types of grain and vegetables for human consumption. The last point that I would make in my last seconds is there is a huge movement in the United States as has been done in Australia and some other countries, to return to a more natural grazing system to keep cattle out of wooded areas, keep them out of streams, leave them only in areas where there's an effort to reestablish natural grasslands and mimic the Midwest when the buffaloes were flourishing a few hundred years ago. That is very, very healthy. It's healthy for the ecology. It's healthy for the ecosystem. It produces quality meats. And it doesn't waste soil that you can't use any other way anyway. But that movement is catching on in the animal agriculture community, and that's where the movement is going. But understand there's huge differences in worldview between people who live in agriculture and people who live disconnected from agriculture. Thank you.